Listen close, for I am Balafaseke, Griot of Mali, keeper of kings and memory. Before the thrones and gold, before the empire rose, there was a boy born of prophecy, born to a hunchbacked mother and a buffalo's curse. This is the tale of Sundiata Keita, the Lion King of Mali. In the Mandinka kingdom of Niani, King Magan Konfata ruled with wisdom. One day, a hunter arrived with a prophecy. Marry an ugly woman who walks like a beast. Your son will be the greatest king Mali has ever known. The king obeyed, taking Sogolon Keju, a mysterious woman with a hunched back, as his wife. From this union came a boy, Sundiata. But the child could not walk. He crawled, dragging his legs, mocked by the court, and overshadowed by his stepmother Sasuma's son, Dankaran. Sundiata's childhood was a storm of ridicule. Sasuma, jealous and cunning, whispered poison into the court's ears. How can a cripple lead Mali? But Sogolon believed. And when her tears fell one fateful day, Sundiata, burning with shame and purpose, rose. He demanded an iron rod. The boy who had never stood shattered the rod in his fists and stood tall. The people gasped. Sasuma trembled. The lion had awakened. But danger loomed. Sasuma, fearing Sundiata's rise, plotted his death. Sogolon fled with her children across kingdoms, Ouagadougou, Mema, Ghana, always hunted, always hiding. Back in Mali, a darker threat emerged. Soumaoro Kanté, the sorcerer king of Sosso. He wore the skulls of kings, controlled spirits. He swept across Mali with iron and fire, crushing cities, silencing griots. The Mandinka people cried out, but their prince was in exile. Sundiata watched from afar and waited. Mema, land of tall grasses and river kingdoms, was unlike anywhere Sundiata had seen. After years of running, they had found a place to rest. Musa Tunkara, king of Mema, was no ordinary ruler. A seasoned warrior, he ruled with both sword and wisdom. When he met the boy prince from Mali, he saw something few others could: raw, untamed greatness. He took Sundiata under his wing, not as a refugee, but as a son. Here, Sundiata thrived. No longer the hunted, he became the hunter, training in the arts of war, statecraft, and leadership. He rose with the sun to train with seasoned warriors, learn to command battalions, to strategize, to lead. Not just with strength, but with heart. By age 15, he fought in Mema's military campaigns. He rode into battle with Mandinka by his side, leading charges across the floodplains. His loyalty earned him a place in the king's court. His skill earned him a title, Kankoro Sigui, Viceroy of Mema. But even in glory, Sundiata never forgot. Every night, beneath the stars, he listened to Balafaseke recount the stories of Niani. He remembered his mother's tears, his people's pain. His exile had shaped him, but it had not defined him. In the silence of Mema's nights, the Lion of Mali prepared to roar. By the year 1235, the drums of destiny echoed across the savannah. The Mandinka people, once scattered and broken, had found their voice. Messengers rode hard through forests and across rivers to Mema. Their message was clear. The time has come. Mali needs her lion. Sundiata, now a seasoned warrior and respected viceroy, answered the call. No longer the boy mocked for crawling. He returned as a military commander, a tactician, a symbol of resistance. He began uniting the fractious Mandé clans, tribes once torn apart by jealousy and blood. With diplomacy and vision, he forged a coalition of hunters, blacksmiths, nobles, and freedmen. His alliances stretched across kingdoms, Ouagadougou, Do, Mema, and beyond, each pledging warriors to his cause. And so came the clash that would decide the fate of West Africa, the Battle of Kirina. Sundiata's army, a diverse force of warriors, archers, cavalry, and griots, carried not just weapons, but purpose. They fought for land, for law, for memory. Soumaoro, cloaked in dark robes, summoned phantoms and illusions to scatter Sundiata's men. His army was ruthless, disciplined, and cursed with dark blessings. But Sundiata held a secret, an ancient hunter's charm, a weapon crafted by the wise, a white rooster's spur affixed to an arrowhead, the only thing capable of breaking Soumaoro's magic. He fired. The sorcerer screamed and vanished, and the Sosso were crushed beneath the Mandinka wave. In that moment, Mali was reborn, not as a kingdom, but as an empire. The griots would sing, "From the arrow's flight, a nation rose. From exile, a lion returned." Nyani rose from the ashes. Where Soumaoro had brought fear, Sundiata brought unity. He summoned the clans of Mali to a sacred assembly at Kurukanfuga, beneath the great baobab tree. There, 32 representatives, warriors, elders, hunters, and griots, created a new order. They declared the Manden Charter, one of the world's earliest declarations of human rights. Every life is a life. Every harm done to one is a harm done to all. Sundiata made caste systems more just, protected women's rights to property, and banned slavery within the Mandé peoples. Griots were enshrined as living libraries, keepers of law and memory. The hunter's oath preserved the balance between man and nature. Mali was no longer a cluster of clans. It was an empire, one of the largest in the world, stretching from the Atlantic Ocean to Lake Chad. Sundiata restructured trade routes, fortified cities, and forged alliances through diplomacy and marriages. Gold and salt flowed like rivers through his dominion, and Nyani became a center of commerce, law, and learning. Sundiata also restructured Mali's administration. Governors were appointed over provinces. Trade networks were expanded and fortified. Gold and salt, Mali's lifeblood, were taxed and protected. Diplomacy, not domination, became his tool of choice. The empire soon stretched from the Atlantic Ocean to the Niger River bend, diverse, dynamic, and wealthy. He ruled not as a tyrant, but as Mansa. The word meant more than king. It meant leader of the people, guardian of harmony. Justice was swift but fair, for where Soumaoro ruled with terror, Sundiata ruled with harmony. His rule was remembered as a golden age of wealth and wisdom. In the warmth of Nyani's palace, surrounded by courtiers and warriors, Sundiata remained anchored by family. He honored his mother, Sogolon, long after her death, enshrining her legacy in the memory of the Mandé. He ensured Mandingbori, his brother-in-arms, held a permanent seat in his council, their bond unbroken by war or crown. Sundiata married wisely, uniting rival clans through kinship. Each marriage was a political alliance, a pact of peace. His children, especially Mansa Uli, were raised to understand not just rulership, but service. Though he followed the animist beliefs of his ancestors, communing with spirits, nature, and the unseen, Sundiata welcomed Muslim traders, scholars, and clerics into his empire. He built mosques alongside sacred groves. He listened to the Quran and the drum alike. This balance of tradition and tolerance made Mali a cultural crossroads. From Mecca to the Maghreb, from Timbuktu to Gao, travelers spoke of a just emperor who valued wisdom over wealth. And beside him always was Bala Faseke, his griot, preserving his life in rhythm, rhyme, and memory. He knew that stories, not stone, were the true foundation of empire. No man escapes death, not even a lion. But Sundiata's death is a riddle wrapped in time. Some say he drowned crossing the Sankarani, swept away by the very waters that had carried his people to prosperity. Others whisper he was betrayed, poisoned by those who feared a lion grown too powerful. No tomb bears his name. No stone marks his grave. He vanished into legend, like the wind that lifts the savanna grass. But the griots say, the lion never dies. He simply returns to the bush and waits. Sundiata became more than legend. He became the silence before dawn, the wind over Niani, the courage in every just ruler, the soul of Mali. And so, in every warrior's courage, in every child's dream, in every griot's tale, the Lion of Mali lives on. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history. If you found this story as captivating as we did, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tales of Africa's rich and powerful past. Until next time, stay curious